Hello, and we have a bonus episode of Let's Talk Girl Scouts. We're still here with Dr. Karen Corbin with Advent Health. She's a scientist at Advent Health, and we have invited some local Girl Scouts to join us of various ages within a local community that we call Foliage. So we wanted to talk and ask them a few questions, and let's get their opinion on what they think science is. But I want to make sure we all go around the table and introduce ourselves. So starting on my left, what's your name?
My name is Mira,
Amira, what Girl Scout level are you?
Junior.
Thank you. And we have,
I Jasmine.
and Jasmine, what Girl Scout level are you?
I Brownie.
You're a brownie. Good job. All right. And what's your name?
My name is Zariah, and I'm a cadet.
Beautiful. And?
My name is Aliana, and I'm a junior.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thanks for joining us. We would like to ask you some questions, and you get to ask Dr. Corbin some questions. So first and foremost, what is science? What do you think science is? Who wants to answer and maybe give their opinion? Here we go.
Science is a mix of plants, hydroponics, animals, and all the rest of stuff because science is the key to our world.
Okay. Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Mira. Who else wants to chime in? Jasmine?
I think science is to help the world be better, to make animals have food and shelter, and plants to go better.
Wonderful. Okay. Ladies?
I think that science is a mix of different questions that people have in the world that need answers.
Perfect. I
okay.
love that.
What did you think of their responses?
I thought they were great, and the focus on making the world a better place is so important because that is exactly what scientists are trying to do.
Yeah. Do you have any questions you want to ask them? Maybe what else they might think? Or do you guys have any questions for Dr. Corbin? She said that she deals with helping people. She's a scientist. Yes? Jasmine?
As a scientist, do you travel around the world to go to different hospitals, or do you stay at one hospital and investigate?
So all my science I do right here in Orlando, but one cool thing about being a scientist is that you do get to travel to go to conferences to learn new things from different people. So I've traveled to lots of fun places to learn new things.
That was a good question.
I have a question. Are you working on the cure for cancer?
So I personally am not directly working on the cure for cancer, but we have lots of people at Advent Health that are working on that. And one thing I do work on is nutrition, or what you eat. And that is so important for both preventing cancer, helping cancer medicines work better, and for keeping people healthy after they've had their treatment. So I think in some way my work could help people with cancer.
What were some steps that you took to become a scientist?
That's a wonderful question. And I want to just say, first of all, science is for everyone, girls, boys, people from different countries. So if it's something you want to do, don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't do it. But for me, I just had to go to a lot of school. I went to schools here locally. So I went to Lake Mary High School, and then I went to Florida State University. And then I went to the University of South Florida. So you just go to a whole bunch of school. And the most important part of becoming a scientist is learning critical thinking. And I don't know if you know what that is, but that's when you have information and you say, where did this come from? How does this work? What do we need to learn about this? And that's when you really become a scientist, because you learn to evaluate what we know today and try to figure out what we need to know to make a better tomorrow. So once you get those skills, then you just keep going and you look for a job and you do your thing.
That was a good question. Mira, do you want to try again? Do you remember your question?
Why did you want to become a science/doctor?
That's such a good question. So I was always very curious. I probably drove my parents crazy asking why and how does this work and how do we figure this out? So I was always curious. And ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to discover things. I didn't even know what that meant. So I decided that I wanted to help make the world a better place using the scientific process.
There you go. Yeah.
What encouraged you to become a scientist?
I was very fortunate to have wonderful teachers. So even when I was just a wee little girl, I was in elementary school. One of the teachers noticed how interested in science I was. So she took me to the class with the high school kids and let me sit in the class. So wonderful teachers are one thing that encourage you. And then it was my family always told me, you can do anything you want. Don't let anybody stop you. And that's why I want to work with so many girls, because I was very lucky to have wonderful people in my life that encourage me. But for those that maybe don't, I want to help to encourage people that want to do science to do it, because we need all of you.
There you go. Do any of you here want to follow anything scientific when you're older? Anybody want to do anything science related? Jasmine? Maybe Mira?
When I older, if I was a scientist, I would want to learn how to bring unicorns back to life.
Oh,
I love that. I love the creativity there.
I read recently that they did some surrogacy with rhinos, a rhinoceros, and they had put a southern white rhino egg within a female surrogate rhino, and she was able to grow a baby rhino. Unfortunately, the mama rhino carrying this baby, she didn't make it due to something completely irrelevant to her pregnancy, but they were able to show success in having this fertilization of a rhino. And rhinos are very similar in their own way to unicorns because of their horns. Yeah. So if they were able to basically genetically create a rhino, that could be its own version of a unicorn. How does that sound?
So it sounds like you're interested in the mystery of life and how things come together and how things come about. So you can do that with science.
Because I love unicorns.
You love
too.
unicorns? Well, there's a lot of science involved in magic. Sometimes it's illusionary, but sometimes the magic of science is just its own magic,
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions for Dr. Corbin? Allie, you have your hand up?
I just wanted to ask, you're a scientist that studies health. Are you studying something for a cure or just like nutrients?
Yeah, so what I study did you know that you have like 1 billion little bacteria that live in your gut? And those are called, you ready for a big word? Gut microbiome. And those little guys are really important for health, and they could be very important for the health of people with cancer. So that if we can figure out how to keep your gut as healthy as possible, that could help to prevent or cure all kinds of diseases. So in a way, yes, I'm making a small contribution to something that could help improve health.
Did that spark any other questions? Do you guys have any questions about maybe good food for your body? Oh, here, we'll go back. Oh, Mira's got a question. Mira, what's your question?
So, how did you get rid of bacteria for coconuts?
Bacteria for coconut?
Or diseases?
Diseases.
Well,
okay.
actually, those bacteria that live in your body are good for you. Is that surprising? Because we normally think of bacteria as being bad, and some of them can be, but the ones that normally live in our gut are actually very important and good for us. They do good things.
Jasmine, is that related to your question too? What do you think?
As a scientist, since you like studying what food is good for you, can scientists that study stuff like you invent a new fruit?
Yes, they can. Actually, that's a very inspiring and intuitive question. So you can work with the different types of plants and figure out how to create ones that maybe have more vitamins or that maybe live longer when there's bad climate. So yeah, there's a lot of science in the plant world, which I don't know a whole lot about, but there's lots of very smart people working on plants and new foods.
That's a good question.
So if you invented a fruit. What would you name the fruit?
I think in honor of you guys, I would name it unicorn.
Whoa. Okay.
Unicorn?
I would eat a unicorn fruit. Allie, did you have a question?
Yes, I was going to ask. So, it determines like when you fry a potato, French fries are not healthy, but like like mashed potatoes are more healthy. Why is when you fry it, it's not healthy no more?
Okay, that's a super good question. So, you know, food is about balance, right? If all you ate were Girl Scout cookies, first you would get a tummy ache and then you wouldn't get all the different nutrients that you need. So you have to eat all different kinds of foods. And some foods have stuff added to them. So the French fries are put in a lot of oil, and that's why they're a little less healthy. But if you eat lots of healthy food, once in a while you can sneak in the French fries and it's okay. Yeah, just
Did you have
not all the time.
Did you have one last question?
What's your opinion on the 5-second rule?
Okay.
That is such a great question since I just talked about bacteria. I don't know that anybody's done the study to whether there's any risk. I've seen some articles where certain foods that are like shrimp that are very moist maybe pick up more bacteria than other foods, but I don't have a good answer, and so I'll leave that to people's own decision.
I liked that question, though. I wasn't expecting that one. Well, thank you again. Thank you for joining us for a bonus episode, and I'm happy that the girls could join us. All right, say bye.
Bye.